This video is kindly sponsored by MPB.
Waterfalls, take one. I have not visited or photographed a waterfall since I went to Iceland earlier on in the year. And hang on, I am totally lying. I scouted a waterfall recently, didn't I? Okay. You know what I'm trying to say. I stepped away from waterfalls mostly because I felt as though I was sort of going to the same place every time and taking the same images over and over again, even though I actually wasn't. Every time I hit these trails, I come away with something different, but the motivation just wasn't really there for some reason, and I couldn't put my finger on it. The trees up on this hill are absolutely stunning. I think there is definitely a photo or two here. It's taken me a while to figure out what the problem was. These trails are fantastic for composition and seeing practice, but I wasn't really taking photos that I was really proud of, images that I would print and frame on my wall at home. I think I put far too much emphasis on getting those extraordinary images, you know, the ones that you would deem portfolio worthy. I fell into that trap. And so I was unable to appreciate the scenes that I was photographing under the pretense of simply having fun and exploring a location without any other motivations involved. I think this is a common cycle for most photographers. Things start out really casual, really fun, and then you usually unintentionally add competition and pressure to the mix before eventually realizing what you're doing, and you go back to the freedom of doing what you want because you want to. It's something that I have to remind myself of every so often, as I'm generally in the category of perfectionist and overthinker, so I have to regularly drag myself out of those constraints. You think I would have learnt by now? I'm regretting my choice not to bring a wide-angle lens with me today, as these two trees right here are beautiful. It is branch heaven. You can get so creative with compositions here, but I just can't quite get the shot that I want, get it all in with my standard zoom lens. I really like it from here, low. We've got all these branches just extending the sides of the frame, but we've just got this huge patch of negative space where the sky is. There's no branches, there's no leaves covering it, and it's really, my eye just keeps going to it, and I hate it. It's almost as though you need something to fill that gap. The sun coming through, mist, something. Yeah, one to think on. It's a shame. This tree is amazing. I'd love to photograph it today, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, and that's okay. The trees on this trail are absolutely stunning. It's a shame about the weather. It's very flat. I think sometimes it's good to be able to work with less than ideal conditions. Other times it's really good to be able to say, I'm not going to take a photograph today, I'm not going to work with a scene, I'm going to come back another time. These trees would just be amazing with some colour and some light. They would look so magnificent, and I think today's weather is just not doing them justice. So, seeing as we're on waterfall trails and it's raining, let's go photograph some water, I guess. I did end up taking a couple of images off camera, including a waterfall shot. However, the rain ended up being torrential for quite a few hours, and then I ran into some technical difficulties, including a microphone that would not work and batteries that my camera refused to cooperate with. Interestingly, I do tend to have technical difficulties when I go to this waterfall trail every single time. I either break something or I tend to fall off something. Waterfalls, take 2.
In all honesty, I'm tired of having to have conversations with myself about being more creatively free, not worrying about how my creativity is received, about putting importance on things that don't need to be complicated or extravagant.
That self-importance, the everything needs to be perfect, the subject needs to be unbelievably unique, is just keeping me in a box, and it's not allowing me to be free with my work. This cascade is absolutely stunning. The way it's just curving and tumbling down almost through this tunnel of trees and rocks. I wanted to attempt a really intimate shot of this water, but to be honest with you, it doesn't translate very well to photo. It's just very, very messy. But this is a spot to keep an eye on in the future. I can't believe I've never noticed this before on this trail.
Logically, I know that things don't need to be perfect. I know that you can create incredible scenes, stories out of everyday subjects that you see out and about. It's a matter of how you choose to see it. A fern is a fern until it's a touching moment, an elephant, or a mechanical machine.
I spotted some trumpet lichen, and I've been looking for some of this for absolutely ages, just on this rock by the waterfall. And sometimes the small scenes are just as interesting as the wide landscapes. So I've taken a shot with natural light, and now I'm going to use my cube light to create some shadow and some contrast. Let me know which one you prefer in the comment section below.
The reality of photography is that we put self-importance into our work, but generally no one else really cares, or at least not as much as we do.
So if no one cares about your photography as much as you do, then why get so hung up on pressure and competition when if you just did what you wanted to do, you would produce bodies of work that gave you joy and fulfillment? And you can do that no matter what you are photographing and what kit you are using, whether it's a mobile phone or a camera. As most of you know, I don't believe in needing the latest and greatest, the most modern bits of camera gear. Instead, you should have kit that you are comfortable using and that aids you in your creative vision. So, on that note, I just want to thank MPB for sponsoring today's video. MPB is an online platform where you can buy, sell and trade in used photo and video kits. They aim to help creators in telling their stories by giving them access to gear they may need, from camera bodies, lenses, tripods and other accessories. MPB have made it easy to get paid for the gear that you no longer need with their instant quote service, and to buy kit that you might need for a project in a way that is more environmentally friendly and much cheaper than buying new. When it comes to gear, MPB is my first port of call because they make changing so easy and effortless. So if you're looking to add something to your camera bag for your next creative project, or looking to take something out of your camera bag, narrow it down, or even in fact you're looking to sell a few camera bags because apparently quite a few of you own 100 camera bags. Honestly, where do you store them? Then I do highly recommend MPB. I'll leave a few links for you in the description box down below for you to go check them out, and thank you MPB once again for sponsoring today's video. Now, I know I said that I was photographing waterfalls, and technically we have, but it is fungi heaven down there, and I cannot pass up this opportunity. Let's go photograph some fungi. Habits take time to form. It's sort of like a garden where you need to rip out all the weeds and plant new seeds and then tend to them over time, just as you exercise your seeing skills in photography over time, or your ability to find fungi. One day I will not have to keep reminding myself to chill out on location, because I will have developed the habit to be relaxed and free enough with my work. And although I frustrate myself a lot of the time, I am already tending to those seeds and they are blooming. At some point we will also get a stack of these fungi where the light isn't constantly shifting. I'm trying to block the sunlight while Karen is moving a fern that's in the way for me, so we don't get any flickering light or changes in light during this stack.
It's my goal to find more freedom in my work, something I am actively working on because I feel as though, especially in the past year, I've really held myself back in my ideas, my photography, my videos, and in engaging in the photography community.
If someone told you that in 2 weeks' time you would take the best photo of your life if you tried something different, did a different style of photography, used a different bit of gear, you wouldn't say no to that. You would be damn excited to take the best photo of your life, wouldn't you?
Well, we have reached the end of my weird little therapy session at a waterfall trail. So I'm going to end by a promise to myself to allow my creativity to unapologetically flourish in a way that is right for me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video, and do you know what? Here's what we're getting up to next time. I'll see you there. Join me next time as I use my telephoto lens as a macro lens in my local forest, which is, of course, full of interesting things to photograph. I'll see you there.